Hello chess friends, we are in the game 3 of the World Championship match between the Tal and the Botvinnik from the 1960. Before this game, result in the match was 1.5 for Tal. We have the move e4 from the Tal, what he played also in the first game, and c6, but in the first game we saw the move e6 from the Botvinnik. So here Tal goes with the knight c3, d5, knight to f3, which is the two knights variation. So bishop to g4, h3, and after bishop takes on f3, here Tal plays the novelty. That novelty was g takes to f3. Before that game, standard move for this kind of position was queen takes on f6 on f3, but here Tal played novelty, g takes f3, and continue with his weak pawn on f3. So e6, b4, knight goes to d7, bishop to f4, bishop to b4, h4, knight to f6, e5, and knight to h5. Move the knight on the edge of the board but attack the bishop on f4 square. So bishop to g5, attacks the queen, queen goes to a5, and here we have the move bishop retreat on the square d2. But if you think that queen d2 works here, let's see what can happen after that. Queen d2 is a bad move because black will immediately start attack using the c file. So he'll play c5 with the idea to put the rook on the c8 square and make more pressure on the knight on the square c3. So if we just ignore that threat and play something like bishop to e2, we can expect a castle, and after that white can choose between two castles, and none of them is doesn't look so good. So if he chooses to play short castle, then c takes d4. Now the knight is attacked, so when queen takes, then one very strong move which immediately crushed the position. So knight to g3 attacks the rook and attacks the bishop on e2. So white cannot take the knight on g3 because bishop goes to c5, attacks the queen and the king. So instead of that, if he moves the rook on e1 to defend the bishop, then a knight goes to f5, attacks the queen, and if we move the queen somewhere, for example to g4 or d1, then knight takes on e5, and the position is completely crashed for the whites. You can just try something like a3, but then white will take one more pawn, and in this position he looks much better playing with the 2 pawns up. So okay, let's see, instead of that, knight to g3 move, we are in this position. So after bishop to d2, queen goes to b6, a3 was played, and bishop retreat on the square e7. So bishop to e3. Of course, that the black cannot take on the b2. Let's see why. If queen takes on b2, the knight goes to a4, and then there is no good square for the queen to retreat. So after bishop e3, g6, played by Botvinnik, and then knight to a4, attacks the queen one more time. And here it looks nice if the queen gives a check on the a5, but that idea doesn't look so good in Botvinnik's analysis. So if he gives a check and attacks the knight, then Tal can play queen to d2, and after queen takes the knight on a4, then b3 traps the queen. But there is a one move which can save the black position, and that the bishop on the b4 attacks the queen and the king, but white cannot take it with the a pawn because the rook is pinned. So if the queen takes a4, queen takes a4, and then pawn takes on b4 square, the position is slightly better for a white. So after knight a4, queen goes to d2, queen goes back to the d8, and then queen d2, knight to g7, bishop to g5 for trade, and here Botvinnik surprised with the move h6, just offer a free pawn. So Tal accept that, and knight goes to f5. So He cannot go back on the square g5 because that would be a free bishop. He will just take it for free. Bishop takes and into queen takes, pawn takes. The rook on square 1 is hanging. So after knight f5, bishop goes back to f4, and then rook takes on h4 was played. So rook takes, and knight takes on h4. Attacks the pawn on f3 and threat double attack on the king and the queen. So a long castle was played, and here Botvinnik played b5, attacks the knight, so he's still attacking the f3 pawn. Knight goes to c5. He could also try knight to c3, but he chose to play active and knight c5. After that, knight takes on c5, d takes c5, and bishop takes c5. So bishop goes to e2 to defend the pawn on f3 and open the way for the rook to try to some attack with the h1 square, and after that try to get access to the h8. So bishop to e7 was played, and after that prophylactic move king to b1, queen to c7, rook to h1, attacks the knight, so make the long castle. Bishop goes to g3, attacks the knight, and he wants to pass with the rook. So knight to f5 was played. After that, rook to h7, attacks the pawn on the f7 square. Rook goes to f8, defends the pawn, and bishop to f4. Queen to d8, and bishop d3. So here, in this position, we can see that the black is slightly better. He's a pawn up, but his position doesn't look so strong. He needs to connect some pawns like the a6 and move the king in a safer position. So he didn't play that, and with the next move it looks like he offered a draw. He wants to trade the rooks, and let's see what happens. Rook goes to h8, rook takes, queen takes, and then queen a5. White is looking for some sacrifice to completely open the king and find the perpetual check. So queen goes to h1, gives a check, king a2, queen takes f3, queen a6, give a check, king goes to b8, it's almost the fourth line, and here Tao sacrifices a piece on the bishop on f4, so he played queen takes c6, after that queen takes f4, and then it's a perpetual check after bishop takes b5, queen takes e5, and then just repeat the moves with the queen e8, gives a check, king goes to b7, and after that they repeat the moves on it this way. So that was the game 3 from the World Championship match, and they played the Caro-Kann to a nice variation with the novelty of the g takes f3 in the 5th move. I already covered the game 1 and 2, so you can find links in the description. Thank you for watching, and see you in the game 4. Bye bye.